ಓನು ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹುಡುಗ್ರೆ
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
My audio is fine. Is it right? Is the voice breaking? Is my voice breaking?
Yes, sir. It's fine, sir.
It's fine. Okay. Yes. Why I asked this because possibly in morning class. What was the last topic for this previous class? Possibly we have completed. We have completed the last problem, which we are discussing.
Yes, sir.
We have completed it.
Yes.
Okay. So now in today's class, what we are going to discuss is
Not audible, sir.
Not audible.
Sir, your voice is breaking in between.
Yes. Now am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss a topic. Value. Okay. So project. There are two different aspects of the network analysis. Only two different components that is being discussed. The network analysis component. That is nothing but the first component. Whatever we have discussed already. What happened was we have considered the project in which the project manager had some previous experience in conducting those projects. For example, let us assume that one of the examples what we have considered in our previous class was conducting of the national conference of the college. So now here we can apply previous methods only and only if that particular faculty member had conducted the project before. And the reason for this is that if the project manager or that faculty had conducted the national conference in the past, then what will happen is that faculty exactly knows what is the duration taken for each of the activities conducted. Correct. For example, let us assume that some of the activities which they have conducted, the national conference example was preparing the brochures, sending the invite to the paper, preparing the budget for the national conference. Now, if the person who is holding the national conference in our college, if that person has already some uh, prior experience conducting or organizing this type of a national conference, what will happen is that faculty will be knowing what will be the duration taken for each activity. Okay, so now let us assume that uh, uh, if the faculty is organizing the faculty is organizing the national conference for the first time. Okay, the faculty doesn't have any experience in the past of organizing any type of conferences. That is what will happen is the duration for each of the activities is exactly known. One small example is possibly the total duration required for sending the invite to the sending the invites to the paper present. Paper presenters means what they are to the college, that is Justice Case Institute of Management. They are presenting their papers and they are getting the reviews from different reviewers and they are going to the college. Correct. So this is basically the role of a paper. Now, what will happen is if the organizer, now what is the role of organizer here? Organizer has to send the invite that the paper presenter has to come to this college, present a paper on their own research area, and then go back to the correct. So this is the role of or the responsibility of the person who is organizing the national conference in our college. Correct. What will happen is this person who is organizing the conference for the first time, that person doesn't have that experience. He or she has not organized the national conference. What will happen is the time estimate for each of the activities conducted in the national conference will not be exactly known. Okay, is it fine? So what will happen is in that case we can use PERT, that is program evaluation. So same example can be considered uh, even in uh, even in software development. What will happen? If the project manager has taken up the software project for the first time in that particular domain, that project manager is very much experienced in taking up the project in healthcare related sector. But for the first time, the project manager may be taking the project in the education sector. That is, let us assume that the project manager is developing a software for the complete midday university. Correct. So what will happen is for the first time that particular project manager is taking up this particular task of developing the website or the any type of a databases for the midday university or for the education industry. Priorly, that particular project manager may have developed a lot of applications for the healthcare, hospitals, so on and so forth. For the first time, that particular project manager will be taking up the responsibility of developing the application or databases for the education sector. So in that case, what will happen is exact date cannot be mentioned for each of the activities. What may be the different activities? Different activities may be collecting the requirements from different type of the stakeholders, that is our directors or different faculties or different students, correct? So exact time date may not be known because that project manager doesn't have the prior experience of holding meetings with different stakeholders in our college or in the Nifty university, correct? So what will happen is the exact date may not be known by the manager, and assessing the project duration is very much important in order to determine the project cost. We have already seen that, is it right? So whenever the duration of each of the activities are not exactly known, what will happen is this technique actually helps. That is PERT, program evaluation and review technique. Okay, so let's just write some of the differences between the system. as well as this technique. Okay. Previous techniques. Are considered as or previous problems were solved by using this particular method. Problems were solved using typical path method. That statement also it is. So only difference. Can be found. I'm going to use this short form itself and but time that are used while CPM only one time estimate. Okay, so CPM actually while PERT technique uses three different time estimates. As I have already told that uh, time estimate for each of the activities will not be properly mentioned. PERT. So this is basically the CPM as well as PERT. But the time estimates will be exactly known for each of the activities. CPM, previous calculation, whatever previous calculations we did, there the exact time estimates were being mentioned. In this case, that is PERT, the exact time estimates, but three different time estimates are. Let's see what exact time estimates. One time. Most likely. Okay, is it fine? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
These are the three different time estimates. Right? The optimistic time estimate is also called as Anything is fine. Either it is called as P naught or PO, that means optimistic time duration, or it is called as small letter. It is a normal time. It is a normal time period. uh, Optimistic is optimistic approach. Optimistic approach about completion of an activity. Okay, so I'm going to the next. If anyone wants me to come back to this screen, that is the previous one, just let me know about complete. Approach. Of activity. All circumstances remain in favor then the estimate. Next is EP. EP is the pessimistic. Or it is also called as. If there is any doubts, ask. Okay, is it fine? So all these things are possible, is it? All the adverse adverse cases. Adverse cases means what? Possibly, let us assume that purchasing of the raw material. Let us consider one of the example as purchase of the raw material. We are considering the adverse possibilities. That means what, possibly when the purchasing activity is happening or when the raw material is about to uh, arrive to our location, what is happening? Possibly that may be down of the transportation or there may be a flight, there may be any type of mishap. uh, So under which case, what will happen? And pessimistic time is considered in that. And this is the longest possible duration. Well, optimistic is the shortest possible duration. What happens in optimistic time duration is we are assuming that everything will fall in line and all the activities will be done very swiftly and all the activities, all the necessary steps will be considered or will happen completion of this activity. Let us assume that what will uh, optimistic time duration for the purchase of the raw material itself. So we are considering that all the conditions are favorable in purchasing the raw material. Okay, so that is the reason optimistic time estimates are very much short in number, but a pessimistic time duration is actually the longest time estimate. These are the two time estimates, most likely time estimate. So I'll go for the next one. Next one is called as TM, called as TM or just TM. Okay. What will happen here? So this is normal duration. So normal time estimates are usually the range of pessimistic and optimistic time estimate. Okay, and it is denoted as TM or just TM. Therefore, expected time of completion, expected time of completion is equal to which is equal to T naught plus 4 times T naught plus whole divided by 6. Now, not only this problem, not only for one or two problems, it is for all the problems. This equation is applied. Okay, so I'm just going for the next one. If anyone wants me to go back to the previous discussion, Okay, so write one of the examples here. So just write the list of I dash. Is 7 is over. Okay, so just make note of the go for the next one. 4, 5. Make 7, 8. Next is 8. 12. The problem is not yet over. What I will do is I'll just continue the problem here. Let's see. Write the values A over here. Right, 7 is 2 more at eight. So the question, so this is just the continuation of the same problem. I don't have space below this 5-7. That is the reason it continued from here. That is, these two are nothing but the continuation. All right, so let me just write the question statement. Question statement. First question, determine the project completion duration. Determine the project completion duration. Okay, so this is the time estimates for each of them. A means what? Can anyone tell what is A stands for?
Optimistic time.
Optimistic, correct. M is
Most likely.
correct, most times. And B is
Pessimistic time.
pessimistic time estimate. Right, that's right. So these are the 3 time estimates. Now we have to combine all the 3. We have to determine one time estimate for each of the activities. Okay, so just make note of this question. Then we'll start determining the time estimate for each. So possibly there is a formula in our previous explanation, whatever I have written. Okay. A plus 4m plus b whole divided by. So first apply that equation for activity 1-2. So for activity 1-2, determine that particular equation, that is a plus 4m plus b whole divided by 6. Is it done? Have you taken down this problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it is nothing but in usual scenario, they even give the description of each activities, but here I do not have much of the time because already I have spent a lot of time on network analysis module. So I'm not writing a description for each of the activities, but I'm just explaining that each of the activity actually here stands for each of the activity description. There may be a description, there may each of the activity stands for the real-time activity, correct? It may be details sector like prepare the uh, different products or how to place different products, correct? Deciding the placement of the product in a retail shop. Similarly, setting up of a hospital. So these may be really a different new projects, correct? So just to see that some reality flavor is given to this particular problem. What we'll do, we'll just try to say that okay, so this is nothing correct. So let us assume that this some R&D project or the research and the development project is related, correct? So let us assume that this is some R&D project, which is happening, correct? So we go to the solution. So I'm writing the equation once again. So time estimated time duration. Estimated time duration. So question here is a plus 4m plus b whole divided. Now one way of remembering this, why this is okay. The examination possibility that you may replace it with 4 or 3 or some number due to some type of confusion. Okay. One way of remembering why this is exactly 6 is because so the coefficient of a, how much, what is the coefficient of a? Anyone? Is it 1, 2, or 3? What is the coefficient
One.
of 1?
It's one, sir.
And what is coefficient of m?
4.
4. And what is the coefficient of v?
1.
1. So if you
One.
sum total this,
6.
if you sum total this, it will be equal to 6. The coefficient is nothing but is basically the weighted average. Weighted average means what? It is basically the amount of weight is given to this m. That means what? Most of the time, the value or the answer, whatever you are getting here, okay, that answer will be equal to m. Are you getting this? So most of the weight is given to 4m or just m. Lot of weight, if you have to see this value, that is lot of weight here is given to m. That is 4. Okay, the weight of m is equal to 4. That means what? The obtained answer will be somewhere equal to 4 m itself. Okay, are you getting this? Are you getting what I'm telling here? it understood here? Not understood?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Okay,
sir.
so yes, okay. So in that case, I will just go ahead. Just calculate the estimated time duration for of one day. Just replace the values and tell me what is the answer for this. A is how much? For 1-2, what is A?
4.
M is
6.
6. And
8.
answer.
Six.
And whatever answer you are getting, that will be somewhere near to M itself. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Why? Because of that is the reason behind that is you are giving much of the weightage for 4 or much weightage to M. Okay. So whatever answer you are getting, it will be near to most likely time estimate itself. That is the normal time. Okay. The first answer is going to be 6. Likewise, just determine the rest of the values and tell me what are the different time estimates. And if anyone has any doubts, you can ask. Okay, going further. So what are the list of activities? Can you just tell me the list of activities and time estimate? One dash two is how much? Next activity.
2-3.
Value.
Eight.
Next.
2-4. 8.
Next.
3-6. 20. 4-6.
Correct. 18. Next. What about the next activity?
Five dash 7, 8.
Sir, it's not 4-6. Sir.
It's 3-5.
It's 3-5, sir, instead of
So 3-6 is there.
4-6.
So 3-5.
3-6 is there. After that is
3-5.
3-5.
3-4. After 2-4, we have 3-5.
18, sir. 4-6. 10. 5-7. 8. 6-7. 2. 7-8. 7.
These are the estimated time duration. Everyone getting the same answer?
Yes, sir.
Only that if you have to see, almost all the values are almost equal to m. Do you agree? Almost all the values are nearing to m because you have given much of the weightage to m. Okay, in the equation. Now our next objective is we have to determine what is the project completion duration. So for that, how do we determine the project completion duration? In our usual method. This problem calculate the project completion duration. So how do we determine the project completion duration?
Through critical path.
Critical path we have to identify first, and then we have to determine the project. Right. Correct. So I'm going for the next one. Next screen. Everyone has made note of this. Okay. So anyone wants me to go back to the next one. So just tell me determination of the project. Okay, so first we have to determine the critical path. What are the different possible paths? Okay, so just tell me what are the different possible paths and anyone? Paths?
One dash 2.
1-2
-3
okay 1-2
6 7 8
path duration path duration, just a minute. Here the path duration has to be determined by considering the time estimated time duration for each of that. Okay. So here, let me just write an explanation for this. Then you can go ahead by calculating this. Okay. Estimated time duration. So what is the time duration, estimated time duration for 1-2? I think it was 6 seconds, right?
6.
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now similarly for 2-3, how much?
8.
For 3-6?
20.
Okay, and the last one is 3-6
-8.
plus 7 is how much?
2.
Last one, 7-8,
7.
7.
7. So we have to add sum total all this, okay? And whatever answer we get, that will be equal to. Are you getting this? The first possible path duration is equal to how much? 6 plus 8 plus 20 plus 2 plus 7.
43.
33. Correct? Everyone getting this? How to calculate the time, the path duration in this case? We have to consider the estimated time duration, not the one we have, which was given in the questions. Okay. Earlier we used to do it in that fashion, but now that has changed because there are 3 different time estimates in this problem. We clubbed it into one. Okay. Correct. Similarly, identify the next path and get the possible path. Next, the possible path duration. Okay. So what is the next path? Next possible path. So that was one of the possible paths. Previous case. Next, any other possible path?
1-2,
Correct. Next,
2-4, 2-4, 4-6, 6-7, 7-8.
what is the total path duration?
33 days.
33 days. Next,
1-2, 2-3, 3-5, 5-7, 7-8. 47.
this is how much?
47.
47. I think the previous one was also 47, right? 1, 2, 3,
43 it was.
was 43. Yes, now it is 40. Correct. Any other paths?
Only 3 paths.
Only 3 possible paths. Correct. So therefore, maximum duration is equal to 1, 2, therefore, project completion duration is equal to 47 days. Correct. Everyone has understood this problem. How to determine this problem? Project completion duration. Is everyone getting the same answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last year can be the list of answers. If there is any doubts, you can ask the rest of them. Otherwise, those who have already completed writing this and over. Thank you.